welcome to this week's video. It's your girl Jamie. This week we are going to be doing a Game of Thrones inspired look. The reason we're doing it this week instead of years past is one, my YouTube channel is just getting started, and two, I've just recently started watching Game of Thrones. That being said, I've binge watched so far to season 6. And I don't regret it because it's a great show. But we are going to be doing the great Khaleesi herself, the Mother of Dragons. And who would the Mother of Dragons be without her dragon? So of course, this look, we are going to add in some special effects to give us that dragon scales, if you know what I mean. Probably not, it's fine, you will. Now I do just want to say, during the beginning of this video, the quality of the film isn't the best. I was filming on my other camera and I thought I had it centered and it wasn't centered and it's not focused very well, but it's now too late to refilm because I don't want to and I don't have the materials until later. I will explain everything to the best of my ability. Bear with me. You will be able to see what's going on. It's just not as focused as I would have liked. I apologize now. The rest of my videos, I will definitely make sure that it is filmed better for you. Either way, if you like it, hit the thumbs up button. If you don't like it, then don't do anything. Just leave it. It's fine. It's okay. But subscribe, because next week we will be coming back with you with something different. Bye! So what we're going to be doing is with our Morph beads as well as our hot water, we're going to just mix these two together. Once the beads go from white to clear, I can then start taking it out of the water and mushing everything together. I'm then grabbing my life cast and I'm actually going to be spreading out the plastic and doing this on the life cast itself. This just gives me, again, that shape so I know it will fit my face when we do want to put it on. I'm grabbing a pair of scissors and I am just starting to cut, not all the way through, but I'm gonna cut the top layers of the plastic. I've noticed that using this technique actually starts lifting up the plastic and making it look like those dragon scales or the dragon horns, if you want to say, start to come off the skin. So it's risen and has that texture. So I have 2 life casts. So I'm using both of mine. However, if you're just doing this on your face or you don't have a life cast, you can do this on something that's kind of rounded just to get that basic shape. And then when you apply this to your skin, just put liquid latex down first and then it would be able to stick and mold better. Because I am using my second life cast, I just use liquid latex paste and then I'm pushing in the plastic on top of it. This is just going to make sure it's more secure, and then I can go back in with more liquid latex, start smoothing out the edges, kind of making it more kind of like skin on top of the scale, so like the edges aren't as harsh and it will be able to blend into my actual skin when I apply it. Once I kind of had it how I wanted it to be, I then popped it in the microwave for 10 seconds. I'm then going to go in with some alcohol activated paint. The reason I'm doing alcohol activated is just because as soon as it's dry, I can touch it immediately and I don't have to fear that the paint will come off on my fingers. What I'm doing is I'm going in with some black and I'm just doing a very quick basic layer, more on the inside, closest to the base of the scales. And then I'm going to go back in a second time and do the entire face in black. This is because I want my dragon to be quite dark. I don't really want it to be white, although I will say it does look quite cool when it's the black and white. Once I have everything covered in black, I'm then going in with purple and then some red just to kind of give it some detail. With this part, honestly, you can color it and make it as detailed or use any colors that you please. I've just kind of really wanted mine to be dark, a little bit of red tinge to it, just to give it a little bit of depth. Again, you can spend as much time as you want on it. Just make it how you like. So starting off, I did start to paint my eye black, but then I realized I wanted to put contact lenses in. So I quickly put that in, just because I knew I wouldn't be able to put it in once I had the prosthetic on, or it would be a lot harder. Then I continued to paint around my eye black. Again, it makes it easier to paint it now, whereas trying to paint in all the cracks later once I have the prosthetic on. Now, make sure you've glued your eyebrow down, because what we're going to be doing is using liquid latex to apply this. I'm applying it all around the vicinity of where I'm going to be placing this prosthetic, just so it can really stick. Once I do have it stuck on, I'm then going in with liquid latex and cotton, just around the area of the prosthetic. This is going to blend out any edges, and then I'm also able to peel it back once it's dry to make it look like ripped skin. So it looks like the scales is coming out of the skin. After I let it sit for a little bit and let it dry, I then started to peel back the liquid latex edges, just that are connected with the scales. This is so I can actually make it look like ripped skin. With black paint, I'm just going in where I've ripped it, just on the inside, to make it look more dark on the inside before I add any actual colors or textures. Next, I wanted to really start blending this in with the rest of my skin. So what I've done is I've grabbed a green concealer. Now keep in mind, for this, a reddish orange concealer would be better to color match. However, I didn't have any at the time as I've run out, so we were using the green concealer. So we're just going to blend this with the liquid latex that you do see, the dried part, and just start to blend this in with your face. After that, you can go in with a foundation. It's kind of a white foundation, but on the screen it kind of looks like a gray foundation. And then just mix this all around. If it's not completely blended, that's fine, because we're going to add some dirt and blood and bruising and all to that later, which really makes it tie it all together. Use a light powder just to seal in the foundation. I'm then going to start with the eyebrows. Again, if you look at her eyebrows, they're very natural looking, and what I mean by natural is a little bit bushy, not necessarily cleaned up, so I kind of just did that look. I didn't do too much on the Khaleesi side, really. I could have sculpted my face a little bit better with contour to really make it look like her, but my goal is to just not exactly look like her, but have a concept that you know it's her. Then I just wanted to focus on blending it in more, so I went around with kind of started mixing some darker browns, some blues, purples, and yellows, just because that's like the bruising effect you would get. I mean, if your skin's being ripped off, there would be a lot going on. So I just kind of doing that detail around the edges. With a mixture of red and brown, I'm then going on just the top part of the flesh, as well as dragging it a little bit towards my skin. This is just going to give it a little bit more depth that it's bleeding and from being torn away. Then with some mixtures of reds, some browns, and blacks, I am just going to start to seamlessly blend this in with my eye, make sure there's no white, everything is covered, adding any little bit detail that I seem necessary. Add some mascara, add a little bit more blood on the outer side, put your blonde wig on, maybe a burlap sack, and I like to call this look finished.
Stand in the presence of Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen, rightful heir to the Iron Throne, rightful Queen of the Andals and the First Men, protector of the Seven Kingdoms, the Mother of Dragons, the Khaleesi of the great grass sea.
What's up, guys? I really hope you enjoyed this look. I did already take the wig off just because it's itchy, as well as I know it wasn't as white as what her hair actually is, but I couldn't find one of those, and I didn't like the wig that I had, so I used it for a little bit and then I took it off. Love how this turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them down below, and I will see you next Friday. Bye!
I always hate the removals of these things, but I figured, why don't you guys come along? Let's get ripping! In a good fashion, we're gonna start by the mouth. Oh, it's harder because it's all plastic. Oh god. Ow, 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 baby hairs, yep. Ooh! Rip. Oh. Break, 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 break. Let's just leave it like a door. Let's just... Hello? Hi. Ow, 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 ow. It's in the hairs. Oh, 1, 2. Ah! Oh, that's a look.